All right, so we took the CRV. We went and bought a crap load of stuff. I left the fuel tank on yesterday a little too long and came out to a big puddle. So I'm cleaning up everything. We got instant spill absorber, so we're gonna try to take care of all that. I went and got a lock for my new locking fuel cap that I just bought. I went and got gloves, we got degreaser, we got paint for the bumper, we got 3 gallons of the only Rotella that they had left at Walmart. Got a new brake hose, 100 foot of measuring.
What are you doing?
And come here. I want to show you this, okay? So you see all this right here, babe? See all like this dirt and grime?
Mm-hmm.
Watch this, okay? I want to show you something. I told you this $6 extension was worth it. Watch this, ready? All gone. All gone.
Into my face?
That is awesome. That we have a new way of cleaning the truck out. That's awesome. So I just got it Tefloned up, put a new fitting in it, and we'll throw that under there, and we're good to go. Like right here, I want to get this off. Get this off. There we go. Here's the old one. Plenty of fuel in there. All right. Can you grab me the new one? You can see why this one wouldn't seal. Like if you look down in there, the rubber's not all the way around. So, Liam, throw this in the recycle tub, please. Clean the threads out a little bit. All right, we'll throw the new one on. Well, we've already broken it. Whoops. So I'm just gonna put the lock on it. I guess I'll order another one. But wow, wasn't expecting it to break so easily. That sucks. All right, so this is cast. I'm just gonna get this re-welded, not a big deal. Obviously when I have an empty tank, but I put it all together just so that I have it and we can go from there. So that's how it's supposed to be. And then this latches, but whoops, kind of hit it a little too hard with a hammer. She noticed it flexing and was like, oh, I saw it flexing and let me keep hitting it. She's over there laughing. She knows what she did. So no biggie, we'll just get it welded. I got a buddy down the street, maybe he'll do it for me. By the way, that's a joke for the idiots that think, ha, he's blaming somebody. No, we're just joking around. We're having a good time. Shit happens. It's pretty much just a chill day. We're not really doing much. I am cleaning up all that crap right now. CRV has like a small leak, like right here in the windshield. And then water gets in down here. So I'm gonna try to fix that today. Also, if I'm feeling cocky enough, maybe I'll spray the bumper black real quick, because I realized, why am I putting all this effort into painting that when this whole truck's gonna be a different color? Also, I never would have thought that I'd like skinny tires as much as I do, but I actually really dig the look of it. So hopefully, oh, I can't remember your name. Somebody's sending me a set of wheel covers from Texas. Can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I really hope he comes in clutch. I told him I'll pay him whatever, but I'm kind of excited for that, so we'll have wheel covers. All right, this one's for you guys. Just kidding, it's for me. That's gonna look sweet when it's done. This thing will be all one color. I should probably do the hood, but go figure, now it's gonna damn rain. So I'm gonna ignore it, put the windows up and do all that, but I'm gonna get this hitch pin and take the cat plate off, so. Tell you what, Liam is super excited about it. Liam, what do you think about it?
Amazing.
He said amazing. I like it. All right, so I went, there is, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but there is 2 connectors, so that this is temporary. I'm gonna run it here until I figure out where exactly I wanna put it, but this will work for now, so I will be able to plug mine into the bed, got rid of the cat plate, and since I've decided that this truck is not going to be, you know, black forever, here's what it looks like. So I gotta finish up on like the insides and whatnot, but neighbor wasn't exactly the happiest that we did it, but you know, it's all one solid color now. It looks pretty sweet, actually. I'm digging it a lot more, especially with the tires. Now we just need the front covers. It's gonna look good. All right, we're slowly getting her cleaned up. So not the best in the world, but we're making progress. That's pretty good. So we're gonna go out to dinner tonight again, but I think we're gonna take the truck tonight. So see how tacky our paint is. Oh, look at that, nice and dry. We do need to do the undersides yet and all of that, but we'll get it. Shall get it. And I got a vise for the front. So let's get this the rest of the way and get out of here. So now we gotta ask them, how quiet is the truck now with the new tires? What do you think? How quiet is it?
It's pretty quiet.
Like a Prius?
Sounds like a Prius.
On the inside. What do you think? How quiet are they?
Quiet.
Sweet. Pretty quiet. Like you don't hear it at all. You let off, all you hear is wind noise, that's it. Whereas before it would just, mud tires are loud. I didn't realize how loud they were until I got rid of them.
These are more practical.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's got that ranch truck look now, so I don't know, maybe I'll fit in a little bit more. All right, we're back here at the storage unit. You guys can see, I got a vise. Now obviously I'm not gonna drive around with this, but I put it here for now just to keep it there while I drove down here. But absolutely loving the look of this. Can't wait to get those wheel covers. But yeah, I want to paint that. And then this thing also came with, right here, you guys can see this thing also came with one of those, so I could like mount it anywhere that I wanted to. But I got tailgate hardware. There's a bunch of stuff that I actually went and got in here. So just let that touch just a little bit. Got some ATF and a seal for the other thing. We got new tailgate hardware. I could not find a striker to save my life. We also got this guy here. This is for the AC, so this will basically replace the thermistor. I gotta figure out how I want to route this, because most people were telling me that I should just literally run it to the battery, wire in a switch, and then wire the other side of the AC compressor, and then ground the AC compressor, and that'll be perfectly fine. I was told that'll be permanent, but then somebody else made mention, why not use this to ground? Which I don't know if this thing would work for that. I really don't. Definitely new to this thing here. I've never used one before. The guy at the Napa, he said he very rarely sells them, but he's very rarely ever seen anybody have a problem with them doing it that way. But the relay up front is grounded by the ECU, and that's where we're not getting our power. We're not getting any ground from the ECU. How do I know that? Because I grounded it myself and it goes fine. So everything's been tested. So basically what I'd have to do is pull all this out, stick this in the evaporator, and then run, you know, I thought about wiring it into where the ECU comes in to ground it, so that this would actually just ground it and I'd be able to use all the factory wiring. I'm thinking about that. But I don't know if this thing needs a positive and a negative, because I can see that it gets grounded and mounted somewhere, but I'm not sure. I'm definitely new to this. So might try it that way, might not, but I definitely want AC for the trip. This will determine when to turn on and turn off the AC. So that's great. We also got a right side caliper, or right side hose. And we also got exhaust manifold gaskets, and we also got the straps for the tailgate. So because we will be running a tailgate, I should have a tailgate tomorrow, which will be great. So we'll be back to having a tailgate, and then this can go back on the tailgate. So aside from that, now I've been watching and doing a lot more research and trying to figure out, you know, like DOT and all that, and I've also had some questions about running commercial. And basically, here's how I've kind of learned this, right? So you can get a DOT inspection. You can have a brand new truck, you can have a brand new trailer, and no matter what, depending on the DOT officer, they can find a violation. Doesn't matter what it is, whether they have to make something up or they can find something. They are always going to be able to find something. So the way around this is to always be on the good side of a DOT officer. That's just the way it is. Now, being a YouTuber, it definitely does not help with inspections. Watching Hotshot Benny, it definitely seems like, you know, depending on the officer and the more popular you get, the harder it is to actually pass inspections, because these guys will see you doing really well, and some guys just don't like that. That's just how it is. So I actually have, when I run, I have those little, I don't use magnets and all that bullshit anymore. Those little stake pockets, they sit in here, and then we're good, right? But you wonder why so many people actually go out here and try to hide all that information. You wonder why these guys, now you guys obviously know who I run under, but you wonder why guys run without DOT numbers, without their name. A lot of these guys are as legal as they can get, and they don't run any numbers on the side of their truck. And you wonder why, because you have these DOT officers that are absolute garbage, and you can have perfect equipment and they're still going to find something. You can look, somebody mentioned to me that down in Florida, if you go into the scales, you can see my trailer down there. You have 2 axles, okay? You also have 2 axles on the truck, and they'll actually check to make sure that all of your heat and temperature on each one of these axles is close. They can tell you if there's uneven braking. Like, that's how picky these guys are getting. And it's just like, you know, obviously I have TPMS on the truck, so I don't ever have to worry about tire pressures. That makes life so much easier as opposed to checking tire pressure every day. I've actually killed quite a few valve stems because I check the pressures every day, so that's where the TPMS comes in. But that's something you gotta be wary of. Like, you can't know everything. So whereas you think that you know something, this DOT officer over here knows these rules, this DOT officer over here knows these rules, and so on and so forth. They all know different areas. You are one person. So just because you think that you're running legal as much as possible, you have safe equipment, everything's going good, that one officer who knows something that you don't is gonna find something. And that's how ridiculous it is, and you wonder why. Now I get it, there's a lot of guys out here that are running as illegal as possible, and you got guys that, you know, are running CDL equipment and they need a CDL and they don't have one, or they just go buy a pickup truck and they don't have insurance, they don't have DOT. Like, I get that. But you got the guys out here who are trying to run as legit as possible. That was the whole point of me starting out this year, was to run as legit as possible. Because I remember before, I'll admit it, what was a logbook before? What was like any of this? I was driving almost 100 hours a week. I didn't know any better. That's just how it was. You know, I started a company young and knew nothing about it. So that's basically to put it in perspective. The whole point of me starting now was to take the lessons I learned before and do it right. That's basic principle. So I've been trying to get this thing as nice as possible. I went and got decent tires as opposed to the mud tires. I do need to get some mud flaps yet. I need to figure that out up there, but it's coming together. I need to get a bumper and some flares, you know, make it look a lot nicer and a little bit more presentable, which is also why we're getting wheel covers, the OEM simulators. But it's like, one can only do so much. So that's basically out there. And then somebody also asked about hours of service, and then the 12 valve. I run paper logs. That's all I have to run. We just went through a DOT audit and they verified that everything was okay. So with that, with the 12 valve being a pre-2000s engine, paper logs are all that are required, and all you need to do is have a certificate or a sheet, something written up that says this is a pre-2000s engine. You know, something from the shop that did it. We passed through. The DOT officer was kind of annoyed that they asked for that, but we still passed. So that's just basic. It doesn't have to do with the year. It's basically like a glider kit. We've already verified everything's legal, so we're good there. Paper logs are all I have to run. I cannot plug an ELD into this truck. Rant over. That's basically what I want to tell you guys. You know, go ahead, give your advice down in the comments. Dude, you guys blew up the lot. I got like 300 and some comments. That's insane. It takes me time to get to these, but holy crap. So let's get this thing. I want to get the hardware on first. Start with the easy stuff. I want to get the hardware on so that way tomorrow I can go and get the tailgate. I also need to do the front right caliper, which I might wait till I get home. And I definitely want to do something with the AC. So we'll figure that out. Let's get into the storage unit. All right, we got our brand new hardware on here. Ain't going anywhere. So tomorrow we'll be ready to pick up the new tailgate. I just got to get these on here somehow. I need some spray lube for that, but we'll get it. Next step, I want to start focusing on the AC because that's, I think, the main importance. But I want to get this done because I got to tear out the whole dash down here. I got the whole glove box. There's screws the whole way around, so we'll get it. All right, so we got the back bumper done, and obviously I have stuff up for like overspray and shit, so we're not worried about that. But it ain't perfect. Like, there is some spots that are missed, but you can only do what you can do. So now we're gonna start working on the AC, now that the minor important stuff's done. Stuff that's not really important, but look at that, nice and black. Now I just need that tailgate. So I don't recommend this unless you somewhat know what you're doing, because I certainly don't, and I just, when I drilled that hole, just missed the evaporator. So I suggest if you're gonna do this, kind of drill hard left. Just missed it. That would have sucked. I got so lucky. I kind of regret doing that, to be honest, but I got really lucky. I was thinking it would have been back farther, but there she is. So let's get the sensor and thrown in. All right, so I'm learning, okay? Just took a multimeter and I'm like, all right, let's check this switch out. It can't be as simple as both of them are shorted until it hits a certain temperature, right? But it seems like it is. I didn't think it would be that simple. Like, this, just something like this just kind of blows my mind, because I didn't know that this existed, right? So somebody in the comments, I think it was Darren, he had mentioned, run it, you know, ground it and everything, and then run one side to the AC. So there's a, come up here, watch out for my vise. There's a relay up here, right? This is awesome, because this is great news, okay? So this relay right here, controls the AC, okay? There's two positives, already have power, and there's one ground, right? And then all this does, the ECU sends ground to the other one, which activates the AC compressor, okay? So basically what I'm gonna do is take his advice and run one wire. I'm gonna ground one right where it's at. I'm gonna take the other one, I'm gonna bring it up here to the ground that needs to be grounded. There's a wire underneath. I gotta figure out which of all the wires that it's gonna be. Do that, and then we get to keep this relay, we get to keep the fuse, all the factory wiring. The only difference is, instead of the ECU sending ground to this, it'll be that switch that sends ground to this. So that's what we're gonna do, because then it's gonna be completely factory looking. I don't gotta butcher any wires, and it'll go pretty good. That is how I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna take one of those and ground it, you know, like right somewhere in this area, and it's gonna be done correctly. And we're gonna have factory wiring and factory AC, except we do have to wire in one switch. Now I'm gonna use this one as a temporary, but I do wanna get a switch panel off of Amazon, because I do wanna have, like, say we're gonna have auxiliary lighting, we're gonna have the AC, and then a couple of other things, options that I'm gonna have on here. Yes, I would like to go into this. I don't know if that's gonna be possible, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But that's gonna be my goal. I do wanna get a switch panel for, like, obviously I wanna get reverse lights that are super bright, like spotlights, some up there, some down here when we get a headache rack. I also want to get a couple light bars for the front. So obviously we're gonna have to have a switch panel anyway, so why not make it look clean and legit, okay? You guys can see we're doing it justice here. This thing, I think this is the best this truck has looked in ages. I'm not even, I can't even lie to you. Like, I've always known this truck looks like shit, but right now I think she looks good. I'm also, you know, I get that there's like a little bit of gap between there, but I think that's how much gap is in between a stock truck anyway. So you do still have to run a spacer with the 285s, but I do kind of dig the look. That looks pretty sweet to me. We're a little bit narrower than we were before. I think before we were like 8 foot 10 inches, so we should be like right near the 8.5 foot mark. All right, so we did get the AC to work. Not exactly how I would have wanted to, but it does work. So basically running it to both ends of the relay to be able to short that out. It didn't work when I tried to do a ground and then ground that one spot on the relay like the ECU does. So probably come back to it at some point, but for now it does work pretty decently. Shuts off when it needs to and does its thing. So we have AC, so that's all that matters. We didn't freeze any lines. We just went on like a 40-mile round trip. Pretty decent, so super happy with that. But I think that's gonna do it for this video. It's getting pretty long, so I'll see you in the next video. Ask me some questions down below. Let me know if you want me to cover anything in the next one. Safe travels, guys. Appreciate every one of you. Bye.